So we are discussing the risk management part. Okay, I will wait for 2 minutes so that your all students will come and join. Join fast. Tell everyone to join immediately. Your all friends. Okay, so we'll resume our lecture. Uh, Next role that is being played by the project manager is nothing but a problem solver. So whatever the difficulties or the hurdles generally which are going to happen or it may come related with the manpower, related with the materials or any other things, that project manager has to resolve all such queries, all such difficulties. He is the sole responsible person for that particular site. What are the problems? Which are the problems associated with the labors, number of labors, problems associated with the material management, associated with the machineries, or it may be associated with any other technical parameters which are with the relevant with the site. So he has to resolve all such queries of the laborers, workers, junior engineers, senior engineers, everyone, including everything. Huh? That means their safety arrangement, their living arrangement, everything is solely responsible. Then design coordination. So that part is related, technical part which is related with the uh, design. So whatever the design which is coming, so that design, as per the design, he has to execute the whole project. He need to keep a keen watch on the things which are going on the site. Keen watch means you need to check whether everything is going fine and whether it is with respect to our design or the drawings or whatever the measurements that we have. Otherwise, our as per the drawing, our spacing for the slab it indicates spacing of 90 mm we have to provide or 100 mm. 4 इंचची स्पेसिंग तुम्हाला प्रोव्हाइड करायची आहे आणि ऍक्च्युली साईट मध्ये ज्यावेळेस लेबर वर्क तुम्ही बघताय त्या लेबर्सद्वारे ती स्पेसिंग तेवढी राहतच नाही. It may be it may be 90 mm, it may be 85 mm, somewhere it may be 110 mm. So you need to check all such things very carefully. Whether as per as our drawing says, you need to provide a bar of 12 mm at the bottom, two bars of 12 mm at the bottom in a beam, and two anchor bars at the top of 10 mm for that particular beam. So whether that engineer has done it correctly or not. Whatever the spacing between the stirrups, 6 inches generally, average 150 mm. So whether it is with respect to drawings, whether it is executed, whatever the shuttering work which has been there, whether it is executed properly, whatever the centering work, it is executed properly, whatever the safety precautions that you need to check, whether it is done as per the safety rules and regulations. We are going to follow the Indian Safety Code manual for our building site. So that safety rules and regulations are there. I think in the last lecture I have given you some examples. We should be away from at least away from 3 meters from the JCBs or any other machineries. At least 3 meter distance you have to keep. Then whenever you are working on the site, it is mandatory to wear that helmet, to wear that safety shoes, to wear that particular jacket. Then again, use of the lifts. So whatever the if you are working on a fifth floor or on the 10th floor, you need to wear that particular hanger jackets with you. Suppose you are doing the work of the painting, some labor is doing the work of painting, so that labor should be get completely packed with the hangers. Okay, so that there should not be any damage to him, or there should not be any fault things, untoward incidents which is going to happen. The next part we are going to discuss now. The control of the information. That is whatever the information which is coming from the client to the company, company to the client. So, and from the laborers to the engineers to the particular company. So the control of whole information related to the project. The information may be technical, formal or non-formal. Then contract administration. What are the contract which is been done, whether it's item rate contract, percentage rate contract, कुठल्या कॅटेगरीचा कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट झालेला आहे, ठीक आहे, पर्सेंटेज नुसार कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट झालेला आहे का आयटम रेट नुसार कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट झालेला आहे. Documentation, most important thing. He has to prepare different files, several files for the single project, more than 100 files I can say. What that files are? Different files. Billing file is there, material file is there, labor file is there. I have the detailed schedule of how many registers or how many files that you need to maintain whenever you are working on the site in upcoming few slides. So documentation is very important, where all the permission drawings are with you, permission documents which are related with the building permission, municipal corporation documents associated with that projects, PMC documents, consultant documents, safety documents, material documents, manpower documents, machinery documents, then documents of the workers, everything you have to maintain. Documents about the measurement sheet, abstract sheet, BOQs, tender notes, everything. You need to have maintain that regularly on the site. Then change management. If there is any change in the management, again you need to consider that and you need to maintain it. So project controls. It's a good diagram that we are having. Resources to build the project. Good project management sets up project controls for labor. So project controls, it includes your labors, then permanent equipments for the materials, subcontractors, and the construction equipments. So by this, you can control your, that is, labors, then permanent equipments, materials, subcontractors, and the construction equipments. So we have revised some part. Now we are going to ahead with the next important parameter, that is project organization, that is project management and administration. Okay. So whenever you are dealing with the site, this is what you require. Our previous discussion also depends on this. Everything is essential, whatever we have discussed right now, and you are going to get familiar with all such things: project management, that is project organization, project management and administration. So in the project manager, it has been categorized into different parts. First is nothing but the safety, and second category is nothing but the quality. So safety in project engineering, what we are going to deal with, we are dealing with the cost or scheduling of the project. In our project engineering, we are going to deal with the design coordination, procurement of the materials or anything, then contract administration. These are related with the project engineer. Technical part, I can say. Okay, technical part, that is scheduling of the reinforcement in project engineering. That is done by a billing engineer, we called it as. Then design coordination. Our RCC designer is there. He is going to provide, or any other concerned third party person or any architecture will provide you the design, and you have to execute it. Procurement of the material which is required while on the site. That is what material, how much quantity of the material been required, all that he is going to check. Then contract administration. Okay, so contract administration, that is whatever the contract which has been done. In simple words I'm using, it's a big topic that to discuss about the contract administration. In brief, it is given in our unit number 5. We are going to discuss it in detail. Just a short short introduction I want to give you. So what type of contract is going to happen between the client or the company? In contract administration, one more thing is important is the relation between project team manager, relation between engineer contractor or the client, relation between the developer client and the contractor or the company. Three different person. Engineer is different, developer is different, or contractor is different, and your client is different. It may be different at some cases, it may be same in some cases. Just a minute. Anything you want to say, Samarth? You can put it in the chat box. If you are having any queries related to our topic, you can put it in the chat box, or at the end of this particular chapter, before 5-10 minutes before closing this lecture, you have the platform. You can share your all queries with me. I will resolve it. Okay, so otherwise you can put it in the chat box, all the queries. So with that, we can discuss it at the time of teaching only. Then quality office, in the office management, what you need to focus? We need to focus personal management, payroll, that is accounting, then documentation. Now documentation, whatever the documentation that is required, technical documentation and non-technical documentation for the project. Now in the documentation, one more thing I'm going to discuss with you is nothing but the DPRs, two DPRs generally. First DPR we called it as a daily project report. Second DPR we called it as a detailed project report. So daily project report you need to do every day. And your DPR is being checked by the PMCs. PMCs is nothing but project management consultants. Okay. So documentation again is one important part. So project management, what it involves? It involves the design engineering and coordination. It involves personal management. It involves supervision. It involves safety. It involves contract administration. It involves field productivity. It involves legal issues with the land or any other. We are having, again, I am going to repeat the first part, that is, we call it as an arbitrator, that person. So arbitrator is that person who is nothing but a civil engineer, and he is going to resolve all the legal issues which are associated with that particular site. So legal issues he is going to check. Then corporate management, public relations with the client or any other person, customers. Now public relations. I can share one beautiful example, simple example for this. How we are going to do this? See, our civil engineer branch, we require the technical skill, we require the marketing skill, and we require the management skill. Please remember these three skills that is been essential part of our civil engineering field. You are technically sound person, first thing that you need to know. You should have a good management skill. You are a good leader. You can handle the whole site without any hurdle. And you should have a good marketing skill. How you are going to sell your homes? You have constructed 5 apartments, but there is no one interested to purchase that particular apartment. How you are going to sell it? We are having our HRA department, we are having our marketing department for the same. But being an engineer, how you are going to sell that particular product? So for that, you should have some sense of marketing skills also. What is the name that you are going to give? See, again, I think I have shared my experience with this, but still I'm going to repeat it for you. Whenever I was working on the site, so one project has been assigned to us. So what is the task? The task is, that is at the time of training, they have allocated us 5 crore amount. Just take an example, not actually they have given, but it is just assumption. So we have to make a good plan of that by using that particular amount. That plan is very concise, very accurate, very clear, and very innovative. So what name I have given? So 5 apartments being designed. So what name I have given? I have given the name as arm. What is that arm? Everyone is looking at me, sir. What is arm? What is arm? What is arm? Because we have my role that I have to design such apartments which are used for economically, that is lower economical class people. Okay. So, like we are having example of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, PMAY scheme, that has been that has been for only economically backward classes. Correct? So, what name I am going to give for that particular project? So, I have given the name as ARM. So, everyone is looking at me, sir. What is ARM? What is ARM? Everybody is surprised or strange. What name he has given here? So, I have given the full form to that particular word ARM. ARM is nothing but Aam Aadmi Ka Makan. Aam Aadmi Ka Makan, AAM. So our trainer is very surprised with that thinking. Yeah, sir, very good. So what, I haven't used anything special, or it doesn't require any special technique. So it is just what marketing skill that I have. Whether I'm approaching in the market, so suppose you have constructed some apartments which are for economically backward classes, and most of the workers are working in a nearby industry. So how you are going to do the marketing for your project site? So though it doesn't belongs to our field, but being, if you are having your own business, then you need to capture, you need to have the marketing skill for you, with you. Sorry. Otherwise, you have technically designed a beautiful apartment. The aesthetic view of the apartment is very beautiful. You have provided a sufficient large space. So for 1 BHK, you have provided the area around 700 square feet. For 2 BHK, around 900 square feet. You have provided a sufficient space. You have good management. You have executed the site very nicely within the time span. 6 month time span is there. You have executed. But if you don't have the marketing skill, how you are going to sell your product? So अगर काम निभाना है तो नाम बनाना पड़ेगा, and for doing that you have to create your own identity by completing the work with good quality and within stipulated time. There should not be any bargaining, any what you call bargaining, which is associated for that particular project. No adjustment for that project. Quality work is important. Then you can sell. So public relations, relation with the customer, because customer is nothing but your God. He is that person who is going to take your home. So customer relations, public relations, very important. However, if the customer is going to come into your office, or a client is going to come in your office, what type of hospitality that you are going to provide him? So public relations, very important factor. If you have the good public relations, automatically you are having the marketing skill, and you need not go to any other else. Then business development, what strategy that you are going to plan for your business development? Quality for that particular project, project controls, estimation, planning. So project management includes all such things, very important. Okay. Then roles of the field management or the supervisor, as I said, client interface, that is mediator between the client and the company, planning, scheduling, and control the building project. Planning of the building project, that is taking the drawings from the architecture, then building permission, commencement certificate is required, then you require 7 by all the things, field survey or document survey that you require. So before planning is what, कुठलाही प्रोजेक्ट सुरुवात करताना काय करणार आहात? Search report you are going to get. Search report करता generally for 30 years you require this search report. Then you are going for the 7 by 12 abstract, 7-12 उत्तर बघताय. फेरफार बघताय, सगळ्यात महत्वाचा असतो. फेरफार वरून कळतं, तुमच्या सर्च रिपोर्ट मध्ये तुमचा 7/12 फेर नंबर दिलेला असतो. या फेर नंबर वरून कळतं या जागेचे यापूर्वी किती व्यवहार झालेले आहेत. ठीक आहे. त्यानंतर ग्रामपंचायत परमिशन, बिल्डिंग परमिशन, जिल्हा परिषद काय, व्हॉट एव्हर द कन्सर्न गव्हर्नमेंट ऑथॉरिटीज वी आर हॅव्हिंग. So we need to take the permission for the commencement of the work, execution of the work as per the drawings. Your plan should be sanctioned. TP sanction plan we called it as. Then scheduling of the project, whole project day by day, not week by week, not month by month. We have to schedule the project day by day only, so that you can execute it and you can complete it within stipulated time. And controlling of that particular building project whole. Then tools, construction equipment and inventories, then mobilization, field management and coordination. That is very important rule. Then temporary controls, which are required for the smaller works or at some extempore conditions. अचानकपणे काहीतरी झालंय. So what temporary controls you are having? Skills that you are having to control that any hazard if any going to happen. Then site logistics, what material logistics, site logistics is nothing but material management related with material control and methods. Then labors, subcontractors, productivity and the field issues. So you need to focus on each and everything that is been there, and this role is nothing but performed by the field management or the supervisors, who are nothing but the us, that is civil engineers. It may designation may be different. Some are junior engineers, some are senior engineers, but this is completely done by us. It may be your project manager. Project manager is nothing but the project engineer. Okay, so this is everything is done by us only. No one is going to do that. Then safety and quality, documentation, closeout and turnover. Okay, project complete karna and turnover from that particular project. You have invested 20 crore and you are getting 40 crore. So what is turnover for that particular project? Turnover annually, turnover 6 monthly, not 6 monthly. Generally, turnover is carried out or determined annually only. So what is the turnover for that particular project? Or project wise also we can do it. Suppose you have invested of, as I said, 20 crore you have invested and 30 crore you are getting. So 10 net profit is your 10 crore. So then demobilization of the workers or mobilization of the workers, materials, manpower. Then relationship between the field and actual supervision. It involves roles and responsibilities, then leadership, direct coordination, subcontractors, safety, quality. So roles and responsibilities, very important. You have a leadership quality, direct coordination with labor, with client, with company, everyone. Leadership, you can control that project, working together as a team. So if you want to execute your project successfully, you should have a good leadership quality so that you can work together. Then safety and quality parameters you need to focus on. Then subcontractor, relation with the subcontractors. Subcontractors are nothing but your centering contractor, plumbing contractor, electricity contractor, plastering contractor, say shuttering contractors. It may be anyone, or the person who is going to supply labor suppliers, we called it as. Okay, so that is also important. Relation with that particular labor suppliers. Then understanding the drawings, planning and control of the buildings. First, very important and essential part of your syllabus is nothing but that is whatever the practical work that we have to do. The first work that we have to do is nothing but the understanding the drawings. Now, if somebody has kept a plan in your hand, are you able to identify or are you able to understand that particular drawings neatly or correctly? Now, at this stage, you may find some difficulties, whether the beam, some notations are given like B1, B2, C1, C2, S1, S2, some slab is continuous, some is discontinuous, some is one-way slab, that is LX by L by ratio is less than 2, or when somebody are, that is two-way slab, again LX by L by ratio less than or greater than 2. So you need to check the parameters. So you need to, at first you need to understand the drawings. माझ्या आता ड्रॉइंग दिल्यानंतर मला ते समजलं पाहिजे कसं आहे ते ड्रॉइंग, काय दिलं नेमकं ड्रॉइंग मध्ये, कशाची ड्रॉइंग आहे, प्लॅन दिला, एलिव्हेशन दिलं, सेक्शन दिलंय, मग या ड्रॉइंगचा ऍक्च्युअल मध्ये एक्झिक्युशन कसं असणार, लाईन आउट टाकणं त्याला म्हटलं जातं. ठीक आहे, मार्किंग करणं, ब्लॉक मार्किंग, एक्सकॅव्हेशन मार्किंग असेल, एक्सकॅव्हेशन लाईन मार्किंग असेल, ब्लॉक that is plot block marking असेल. So understanding the drawings very important. Nowadays many of the students are facing this problem only. Sir, site वरती काम करायचंय, we are interested to work on the site, but we are unable to understand the drawings. That is the part you have understood in your BCD or BPD project subject. But still, we find it difficult to understand the drawing, what actually is being given. You are having schedule of the statement for the area. What is my plinth area for the project? What is my carpet area? What is my built-up area? What is the total area? How much land I am going to keep left as per the any rules and regulations by the building control rules and regulation, DCR rules. Whether my building is coming under class A category, B category, C category, D category. So understanding the drawings, if some drawing is with you, that is blueprint, or that is TP sanction plan is with you, or any other CAD drawing, you need to understand the drawing thoroughly. Now, when our practical starts, at that time, I will give you some keys, or I will tell you how to read the drawings. I know you are familiar with it. You are able to read the drawing, but maybe you are facing the problem. A big project, G+100 structure is there, and plan is with you. You don't know whether that arrangement is there, whether the steel is been there. So schedule of reinforcement is given. So B1. So what B1 is going to indicate, I can in the upcoming few lectures in our unit number 3, that is also been there. Understanding the drawing part. So what is being given on the plan that you need to understand. And project layout and vertical controls. Marking or laying out, we call it as line out, preparing the line outs. Then logistic is nothing but the materials related with the planning and sequencing. Then understanding the construction method and materials and processes. Somebody's mic is on. Who is Galaxy JP? Please put your roll numbers and your name rather than putting like Galaxy and all that. I am not going to consider in that in your attendance. Huh? So please correct it. You should put your name and your roll number only, not your mobile and any other unnecessary name you have to give. Okay. Then planning and the sequencing, then understanding the construction methods, materials and processes. So these are the basic steps that you are going to do when you are starting your project. So these are the 5 initial steps that you are going to look for. Supervision relationship, as I said earlier, client interference is nothing but the mediator. Now, mediator between the agency, between the owner of the land and the designers. Already we have discussed this. Then, supervision on the project, project assistant, discipline, that is relation with the workman, then subcontractor, supervision of and their workforce, suppliers, consultants, third party providers. Okay. Supervision relationship 2, please remember this. If you are the engineer, how to make or how to build the relation with everyone is important. You have to build a good relationship with the project staff, with the project assistant, with the foreman or the workers, with the subcontractors, with the suppliers, consultants and the third party providers, along with the client and the company. Okay, so supervision relationship, very important part. Then next part that you are going to face labor, subcontractor, productivity and field issues. So once again, We are having 10 minutes to conclude this particular lecture. So again, you need to rejoin the lecture immediately after concluding this particular lecture. So labor, subcontractor, productivity, and field issues. Okay. So leadership in the labors, leadership and management of the craft foremen and craft people to build the project. So whatever the surveyors or the foremen that you require, you need to have the good relationship with this, and you need to address their issues. Subcontractors, coordination and management of the subcontractors workforce for the project based on the scope of the work and the plan or the specifications. Again, as a supervisor, as an engineer, your role is to make a good coordination and the management with the subcontractors workforce which is related with that particular project. And productivity, meeting the time and money constraints for the project. That is again the important part. Within that stipulated time with a restricted money source or with the constrained money source, you are going to develop a good product. Not constrained money source, we are having a lot of money to be invested or which is going to be invested in that project, but still productivity or end product is important thing. Then field issues, interpretation of the plans and the specifications that you are going to observe. प्रॉपर फील्ड इन्स्टॉलेशन्स अगेन हा हे काही महत्वाचे काय काय फील्ड इश्यूज असू शकतात ते यामध्ये नमूद केलेले आहेत. इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ द प्लॅन्स अँड स्पेसिफिकेशन, जसं म्हटलं सुरुवातीला, अंडरस्टँडिंग द ड्रॉइंग्स अँड स्टार्टिंग टू एक्झिक्यूट ऑन द ग्राउंड, very important part. Proper field installation like machineries, where to keep the concreting machineries, where to keep the mixture, where to keep the hoisting arrangement, where to provide a platform, that is scaffolding, where to provide the formwork. Then field documentation as per as built drawings or red lines, extra work, claims and other charges. So if you are not going to complete your project, you may going to lose some amount of money. Or we are having, we called it as one clause is there in our tender notice, price escalation clause, we called it as price escalation clause. What that clause indicates, if you have to complete a project in a 6 month, but due to some untoward incidences or due to some deviation in the design or the drawings or some material deviation, you require some extra time, or that client, the customer has changed the drawings, he is interested to change the drawing, some materials, so definitely it will prolong your schedule, whatever the schedule you have prepared for your project. In that case, a contractor or engineer, while filling up the tender, has the one clause with him, we called it as a price escalation clause, and where if some extra amount of work is to be done by the engineer and extra time is been required for the same, he will get the money for the same from the client or from the concerned authorities. So that is the simple way to understand the price escalation clause. I think this part is been there in your unit number 4 or 5th, tendering and contracts. So claims and other charges. Claims, that is your again claims which are related with the insurance policies, with the labor payments from the laborers, from the engineers. So you need to consider all such things. Safety and quality. So two important parameters: safety, accident prevention, enforcement of safe work practices, follow Indian standard, that is on-site, whatever the hazardous applications or some equipments we are having that for that particular site, and safety awareness and productivity. Now there are so many safety programs being carried out by the different construction industries. It may be carried out for the road work, It may be carried out for the building works, for any construction work which is related. Then quality. In the quality, we are going to focus on the industry methods and the procedures, inspection and control requirements, and assure the quality construction. So quality belongs to following up the industry methods and the procedures as per the Indian standards, inspection and the control requirements, again as per the RCC consultants suggestions and as per the Indian standard, and assure the quality construction. So closeout and commissioning. What is that? So finishing the job, punch out the punch list completion, commissioning, requesting substantial completion, turnout, closeout, and demobilization. So finishing the job in a stipulated time, punch list completion, that means preparing the scheduling for the same, then commissioning, that is starting of the or beginning of the work, requesting substantial completion, that is required. I just give you some simple example. Now you are working, you are having your own business, you have started. Then you expect that client will give you the payment. At the beginning, he will give you 100% project cost. No, he is not going to give you the 100% project cost. So there are some stages of giving the payments or releasing the payments also. At the beginning, maybe he will give you just 10% of the advance, like as an advance amount. Then at the plinth level, he will give you the next installment. After plinth level, when you go for the superstructure, that is your floor, slab, beam, column, and other structure, he will release your next payment. Or being you are the customer, then you need to follow such stages. You are not going to give 100% amount at one stroke. If you have given 100% amount, then that engineer will stage your project for a forever time, because he has already got the money for that project, and it is his and only whether to complete that project in stipulated time or not. Though you have made a contract between him, but if you are not have any contract and you have given all the project amount, then definitely all the controlling in his hand, and he can give you the trouble for the same. So don't make the payment at one stroke. The sequence that you need to follow is, again, at first you are having the advance amount around 10%, then up to the plinth, release the second payment if up to the plinth level work has finished, and then for the superstructure, remaining payment. But for the superstructure, at the time of slab, after finishing the slab work and before starting the plastering and payment, the third, and then after giving you the key, then the final remaining payment. Okay, so please follow this sequence so that you are not going to get in loss. Otherwise, that client will give you trouble, or that customer will give you trouble, or you can also give you the trouble if you are the customer or you are the engineer. So some good pictures for how to dismantle the structure. See, the JCB is going to dismantle all the structure. This is the reinforcement which is being open reinforcement that you are going to see. So this is the structure. See the reinforcement over here. Okay, so dismantling the structure. Then excavation for the foundation. See the pictures, how to excavate. They are going to see the depth. I think the picture seems the depth is more than 5 meters. If you are going to see the picture. And see the soil nature, they are going to test that soil, they have to provide some safety barricading for that particular project. Excavation for retaining wall, you have to build a retaining wall for that. Then taking the measurements, soil stabilization, leveling, ramming, and marking of PCC, very important. So this instrument is used for the ramming. Whatever this leveling and ramming, okay. Whatever this instrument that you are going to see, I will just use the highlighter, spotlight. Just a minute. So this is the ramming, and see the soil nature over here. See the safety, what they have provided. Helmets are there. Okay. Then marking